Okay, everyone, what we got going on today is we're going to do an engine swap in our Hustler Super Z HD. There was a Vanguard in here, 36 horse. It was actually a really good engine. It's the only Vanguard I own out of 12 mowers. I have Kawasaki's on the rest. I got a direct swap here, 36 Vandy, that we're going to put in here directly. So first, obviously, I pulled the other motor. You got your engine bolts here, clutch, PTO, drive pulley, all that stuff's out already underneath, and we have our wiring all set up here. You can see I'm going to clean some of this up. You can see the plug's got a little dirt in it. We're going to blow that out. But first we're going to go ahead, we're going to set the engine in here. I do that because it's easier to put the wires on before bolting it. So that's where we're not going to bolt the engine in first. We're actually going to hook up the wires. And of course, the battery is disconnected. That will save you from getting a little shock therapy. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the engine here and get it in place. Remember to lift with your legs. We don't need anybody going to the hospital. Set it in there nice and easy. It's a front to back hookup, so it just goes in straight forward here. Now it is a big block, so you'll have to watch because it is tight working in here. And I'm gonna adjust the camera so you guys can see what's going on. So as you can see, like I told you, if we push this completely in here, these wires, okay, we're not gonna be able to get to them. So I kind of leave it like this so I can slide it around until I'm ready. Okay, so I got it situated. The first thing I'm going to do is, and you have to watch your moisture coming out of here. Okay, you want to drain your air tank, but I need to get that garbage out of the existing manufacturing plug there. That keeps everything legit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of dielectric grease and I'm just going to push it in here like so. Okay, that's just to protect, keep water out and maintain a good connection. We mostly run a commercial operation, and what happens is, you know, these run for 10 hours straight and they just collect a bunch of garbage, and you know, we really don't want to have that in our machine. So we want to keep everything as clean as possible here before we get everything set up. Okay, we're going to check some other things here. Here we have our fuse block that keeps you know, it'll obviously trip or blow the fuse if there's any shorts or anything. So I checked it out. It's good. It's a 40 amp. I'm going to put it back in there and cap at. Keep it clean. We have our battery power here. You can see our red wire. It's going to go up here on the starter. We have our connection plug that's going to go here as well. And you can see all of our other wiring that we have in place to keep things running smoothly here. So we're going to get some wrenches and loosen this up. As we start working through this here, we get our ratchet wrenches and get everything taken off. Again, make sure the ground is, or excuse me, the battery is disconnected. Pull this down. Okay, and there's going to be washers on here, lock washers. You want to keep those because that's going to keep everything legit. Okay, before you go ahead and tighten everything up, because you can't have any loose wires out in the job. That's not going to get you anywhere. Don't just chuck these around too. You want to set them somewhere where you can see them. We have a piece of cardboard here that we like to set all of our clean stuff on. Keep everything legit. Okay, so as you can see, I'm gonna zoom her in for you. What I did here is we have the battery cable. Let me get this out of the way. The all the relays in the fuse block, and then we have the charger for the regulator on top here. Okay, I did it like this, and then I'm going to go ahead and bolt that on and tighten it up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to start these on by hand. We're going to go lock washer, then regular washer, and then we're going to get this nut started in here. And and get it threaded on, okay? Now, one thing you have to watch is as you're tightening this, you know, all these wires are gonna wanna turn to the right, obviously. Okay, try to keep them as straight and easy as possible. I've noticed, I've been doing commercial mowing for quite some time. As you have stuff bending and moving, especially electrical stuff, you know, the wear and tear is going to take effect, and yeah, we don't want that, because we don't want stuff breaking out in the field. So we'll do it that way. Okay, so we'll get this tightened up, and again, this is not you know, lug nuts on your truck tires, right? We just want to snug this and to let the lock washer do its job. I don't really even put too much pressure into it. Next thing is, one thing about the Hustlers is they have this little bracket here that holds all the wires together. So like, we're gonna have to move this. You can see here with my Briggs, you know, I got some play, but I don't have much here, so I'm gonna actually have to turn this into position and get it lined up. But the reason I do the starter first is because it's gonna get jammed in here, and I have kind of big hands, so it's a pain in the butt for me to make an attempt to get that into place. Okay, so what I got going on now is I started moving this. I got my other light out. I started moving this into position. Obviously you can see the closeness and what's going on here. I'm gonna swing over here and kind of show you. So there's two grounds in here, okay? There's one right here, and then there's one that grounds the, let me pull it out here actually, grounds the module inside the control panel here. I'm actually gonna put one on this side and one on this side due to the wire length. The wires just aren't long enough to do both on one side, so I split them off whenever I go to mount the engine into place, which is going to be our next move here. We're going to put these bolts in, and I'll go over that with you. Okay, so as I'm getting ready to mount into these existing holes, when you buy a replacement engine, these aren't threaded. On your factory engines, they're threaded, and you thread a bolt up in there and go on your way. So you need a nut, a washer, a lock washer, and the actual bolt. I use grade 8 typically as the I don't know, the golden ones they'll call them. The reason I do that is they are for automotive, but I've actually seen engines like break the bolt, and then they're obviously running and they're in there shaking trying to get loose. So obviously something we don't want to encounter while we're at a job. So I'm going to start getting these mounted up, and I'll go over that with you. Okay, so we got this corner in position here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to be underneath feeding up. So one thing I learned is I tend to get a little extra long bolt, maybe like 1/4 inch, because I want to put a washer and a lock washer on here. If you have any extra hanging down from the bottom, your belt or your tensioner pulley is going to hit that. So I always feed them upward. So I'll come in, I'll put a washer on my bolt. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'll put the lock washer on top after I feed up through here. So I'm going to feed up through. Okay, I got it. I'm going to come over, lock washer. Okay, and then I'm going to start threading a nut on here and get that situated in place. All right, in order to hold this in place. Oh, hold on. Actually, I'm incorrect. I'm taking this nut off. I'm going to take my lock washer off of here. And I forgot, I actually want to put a regular washer on top to give that lock washer a little better seat. So that's going to go on, put my lock washer on here, and then I'm going to go ahead and start threading the nuts on accordingly. Okay, so I'll get that situated in place there. Let me take my glove off. It's a little bit easier to start the nuts and bolts without it. Okay, and then you can kind of see here, as I bring it down. I have it in position here, okay? And I'll tighten that down afterwards, but right now my main goal is to just get them started. By doing that in all four corners, I can kind of get it centered, make sure everything's good. You know, I don't want to torque anything down until I know exactly where it's going to go and everything's in correct position.